More than 100 people all around the world are in this moment fleeing their home country. Hello, everybody. And of course, they have good reasons for doing so. And there are two main reasons. The first is war. Either another country has opened war on them, like in Ukraine, or like in Sudan, two different, often religious or ethnic people in the same country are in warfare against each other. Or like in Iran, it's your own people who subdue their countrymen and countrywomen. In all of these cases, women and men feel they have to leave to go and search better lives in other places. Or they are victims of the climate change, also human-made. Just like wars are human-made, so is of course the climate change. In many countries, there is not enough water anymore for themselves to get enough to drink. There isn't enough for their crops to grow. There isn't enough for the animals they eat to live on. What would you do if in your country either a war raged or the climate change had changed your life so drastically? Would you wait until somebody kills you? Would you wait till you starve to death? Of course not. You wouldn't. I wouldn't. And if you had to leave your country, would you go with a complete family? Would you dare go with a complete family? Grandparents, children, 3 generations? Or would you send the strongest? You wouldn't send the weakest, would you? The weak, the vulnerable, the old. No, you would send the strongest. It's logic. And that's the young men. And hopefully they find their way to better places, then to help their relatives on. And it's these sound reasons that people have. Nobody, adventurous exist, but they're very few. Most people wouldn't leave their countries with no good reason. The place where you were born, the place where you understand every single word and every nuance of language, the place where you know what to do and what not to do, how to behave, how not to behave, where you have your neighbors, your friends, your relatives, your job. No, you wouldn't go. Most of us wouldn't leave if we didn't have very sound reasons for doing so. I read in my daily online newspaper not long ago, a quality paper of course, a woman journalist asking from my society to accept every single refugee. Long article, lots of heartbreak in there, very passionate, and I agree with her all the way. But just pleading for saying humanity expects us to help everybody, I don't think that's the solution, because the problems are big. And you can only solve problems if you name the problems, if you analyze the problems, and then you can only solve them. In my country alone, we have over 1 million refugees only in the past year. Of course that poses problems. In this order, I think, the problems that have to be named in order to be solved. First, they all need housing. Of course they need housing. put them into big places with hundreds in the same house is not a solution. They need their own apartment, all of them. But of course we don't have 500,000 of new apartments in 1 year. We've got to build them. We need money, we need organization, we need people who do it. Next point, language. Once the people are in their own homes, the language is the one and only key to becoming happy in that new society. So we've got to offer to each and every one of them a language course and many, many hours of language. Unfortunately, foreign languages are difficult to learn. So we need money again to pay all those teachers, rooms where the lessons can take place. Third, the children have to go into kindergarten, respectively, into school as quickly as possible. Again, we need more teachers, more money, more rooms. And fourth and last, the grown-up people have to be helped into jobs as quickly as possible. Most of the many refugees I have had contact with, they want to work. Of course they want to work. Very few people are happy not doing anything 8 hours a day or 24 hours a day. We've got to help them on, train them, language, skills, accept the exams they bring. And then I think we will be able to solve all these problems together. And one last word for those who have a problem, more of an emotional aspect. When I was young, 60, 70 years ago, we Germans, all, I swear, all basically looked like me. A friend of mine from Ghana often recalled the following story. He came to Germany in the 1950s, extraordinarily early, to study at a German university. He was a tall, good-looking, very brown young man. And he told often that story when he walked along the German streets, wherever he went. Children, little German children, looked at him like this. And he stressed there was no hostility in their stare. It was the sheer amazement that a person as brown as he existed. So what I want to say is, this has changed drastically in the last 70 years. Now in my country we have all colors of skin, all colors of hair. It has completely changed, but you don't stop change. You cannot stop that kind of vital changes in life. It's impossible. So if you try to stop what isn't stoppable, you'll only become unhappy. Why don't you go along with the change and take the change positively? My old mother, when in the last years of her life she was in a home for the elderly, and I remember clearly when the first time a black-skinned nurse came to help her, and when a young man came, white-colored but male, came to help her. She was quite shocked in both cases. It took maybe 6 weeks, and both the dark-skinned young woman and the young man became her favorites. She was in her 80s. She was able to overcome the beginning of her, well, it was strange to her. It was new, it was different. Why can't we just accept difference as a positive change? Why do we always, many of us, immediately refute any difference? I've learned so much from the many people from other countries that I have associated with. It's an asset. It's positive. It's a widening of my horizon. And I wish you'd think of that next time you look into a face that has a different color from yours. Thank you. Bye.